Well, here we go again with another WWE Saudi Arabian nightmare. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blogger who always tells it like it is. Once again, King Abdullah International Stadium in Jeddah, which I thought was a planet in Rogue One, will be packed with WWE fans. And their wives, provided they're covered up enough. And it's said to be a WrestleMania-style event, which makes sense since WrestleMania is the only event that has fireworks these days. Mostly one-on-one matches this time, and only a handful of them with title implications. No women, of course, though they're trying to sneak them in. Won't happen, but they're trying. 2 sets of old fogies fight. An anxious guy has to play in front of 70,000. 2 tough guys fight. Another tough guy who takes on a privileged guy. It is so not what we wanted in a WrestleMania-style event. But whatevs, it's a Sultan's cache of money, so give them what they want. Here are my official, unofficial, official predictions for Super Showdown 2019. And no, I won't pick a winner in the Battle Royal because I have no friggin' idea who's in the darn thing. On the kickoff, Usos versus the Revival. I thought the rivalry was done when Dash and Dawson beat them the first time after the Revenge of the Nerds style prank Jimmy and Jay played on them. But I guess not. I don't think that the Uso Penitentiary has any business in Saudi Arabia because, well, I don't think there are too many prisons there. I mean, thieves still get their hands chopped off, right? Sorry, my Arabian criminal justice system knowledge is lacking. In any case, Revival will continue their run and beat the Usos. Lars Sullivan versus the Lucha House Party. Lars has been beating up people left and right since he came in. He's like Ryback on even more HGHs. And as entertaining as the Lucha House Party may be, they're nothing compared to Lars. All Lars needs to do is to keep his anxiety deuce out of his tights, and Kalisto, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado will wish they'd stayed in 205 Live. Lars Sullivan in an onslaught. Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. Now that Leo Rush is nowhere to be found, Bobby ain't holding back. He wants to prove to the world that he still has it, even when he took a decade off for MMA. He's looking buff and primed, but come on, this is Braun Strowman here. Last year's greatest Royal Rumble winner. A guy who could have beaten Brock Lesnar last November if not for Baron Corbin. He is to the Saudis what Godzilla is to Japan, a kaiju ready to stomp on anything and anyone in his path. Braun Strowman for the win. Roman Reigns versus best in the world, Shane McMahon. Reigns has not had a good track record in the KSA. The first time he got screwed out of the Universal title by a bad ref call. The second time he was supposed to defend the Universal title, but leukemia made him give it up. Even if history wasn't against him, this is essentially a 1-on-5 match. Chances are that Shane will make this no disqualification so that Drew McIntyre, Elias, and the Revival can tear Reigns from limb to limb. And even if he doesn't, they'll find a way to intervene. Hate to say this, but I'm picking Shane McMahon. Triple H versus Randy Orton. For all I said about wanting Triple H to retire from in-ring competition, I think that if anyone can go blow for blow with the Legend Killer, it's Hunter. It's been a while, though. Last time they had a one-on-one was 9.25 years ago on Raw, and Hunter won that via DQ. Still, I suspect this will be the longest and best match of the night. Because, let's face it, these two know each other so intimately in the ring that it really could go either way. The only real thing Orton has on Hunter is time, about 10 years' worth. But experience goes Hunter's way. This is a toughie, but I'll go with Triple H. And since he would have, at that point, beaten all of Evolution needing to be beaten, maybe after that he'll finally stick to the front office in NXT. Goldberg versus The Undertaker. Talk about a battle of the aged. These two average 53 years of age right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, Goldberg looks pretty good for someone over 2 years removed from his last match. And The Undertaker, well, for the shape his body is in, he still seems willing and able to compete. The thing is, they shouldn't have to. But I guess as long as the Saudis want Taker on the card, they're going to all but force him to compete. Hell, Taker might as well move to Jeddah to cut down on travel time. The first time ever match might be about 20 years too late, but I'll try to enjoy these two geezers. Try to put each other in the nursing home. I picked Goldberg to win, because might as well close his career on a high note. Intercontinental Championship match. The Demon. Finn Balor versus Andrade. That's funny. I thought the KSA would ban Balor for his views on LGBTQ+. I guess they convinced the Saudis that the Demon is different from Balor and has no thoughts on anything so controversial. As much as I would love to see Andrade finally get a title on the main roster, two things are amiss. First, because of Saudi culture, Zelina Vega will not be allowed at ringside. And we all know that Zelina is Andrade's ace in the hole. Secondly, Andrade hasn't seen the Demon since Balor was upgraded out of NXT a few years ago. And as we all know, the Demon is very different from Balor. So yeah, guess we'll have to wait to return to the States before Andrade's first title match. First title win, I should say. The Demon retains. WWE Championship. Kofi Kingston defends against Dolph Ziggler. It should have been you, Dolph? Really? Well, maybe if you didn't take time off to work on your stand-up routine, it would have been you. I'll tell you who it should have been. It should have been Ali. If not for his injury, who knows how he would have fared in the Elimination Chamber. But instead, Kofi Kingston went through hell and high McMahon's to get the chance, and he damn well made it count. In fact, it seems that Kofi has only been beating foes on pay-per-views that have been on the show for a long time. First Kevin Owens and now Dolph. Let's get someone in who deserves a shot. Dolph, go back to preparing for America's Got Talent and let Kofi shine for a while longer. Winner and still champ, Kofi Kingston. Universal Championship match. Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin. Thrashing by Brock Lesnar aside, Seth has never wanted to back down from a challenge. After all those high-risk moves he made with the Shield, that's proof positive of that. And I'm not saying Baron Corbin doesn't deserve a title opportunity. After all, he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal in his very first match in the WWE. He won Money in the Bank in his first ladder match. He's a former U.S. champ. But ever since he got a taste of power as Constable and former Raw GM, he's let it go to his head and thinks everyone's beneath him still. Again, his recent record on Raw makes him a perfect challenger. He just lacks the ruthlessness he had when he was the lone wolf. And ruthlessness is exactly what's needed against Seth frickin' Rollins. Baron doesn't have it, so Seth will win and retain. Now, the 240,000 real question, that equates to about 64,000, is, will Brock Lesnar cash in after either of the main event matches, either of the main title matches? I mean, no doubt he'll be there, but when he shows up in the stadium, will he cash in the Money in the Bank contract? Or will he just beat the snot out of Rollins and Kingston like he did to Rollins on Raw? I mean, hell, maybe he'll cash in during the Rollins-Corbin match and make it a triple threat. Just like Rollins did 4 years ago at WrestleMania. I tend to lean towards Brock being that sadistic and cashing in while Rollins is at his worst. And this would be the second time he would win the Universal title in Jeddah, so how could he resist? I think Lesnar comes in after Rollins beats Corbin, beats the holy hell out of him again, cashes in and gets the easy victory. Unfortunately. Those are my picks. What are your other two wishes? I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blogger who always tells it like it is. See ya.